Now this is the key to Great Wall Motors' latest entrant, introducing to you the Tank 300, and the price is starting from Kenya shillings 8.7 million. Do you reckon this is your next SUV? We start this particular review by taking a look at what the Tank has to offer in terms of design. We start with the front profile. Now, as you all know, this particular design has been there for years and years, over 70 years. Remember the Willys Jeep in the 1940s? It was built for the World War II. Remember the Land Rover Series 1? Again, built off the Willys Jeep. Then you have the Japanese. You did have the Toyota Land Cruiser. You had the Mitsubishi Pajero. You had the Nissan Patrol. But now it's time for the Chinese. They've introduced this brand new Tank, which is actually a fantastic vehicle. Take a look at the front profile. What do you see? Again, it's got that 3-box design. So clamshell bonnet, as you can see here, and you have 2 circular lamps. They are full LEDs with daytime running lights. Then you have slated grille with the words T Tank emblazoned on it, and of course you do have a robust bumper. This one is actually used for towing. You can actually remove it and put a winch over there to ensure that you're able to tow this particular vehicle. And of course the overhang is fantastic with LEDs. So it's robust, it's tough, it's got the bulges. But the biggest question is, how does the side correspond? Let's move to the side profile and have a look at the design of this Tank 300. Now, as we move to the side profile, what do you see? You see stunts. We've got this plastic cladding that runs across the front bumper to the front overhang fender, lower door sill all the way to the back, denoting that this car has some 4x4 credentials, some off-road capability that you're going to test out much later on this particular show. If you look at the rims, 5-spoke aluminum alloy wheels, and of course they are dressed in 265 65 by 17 tires, which actually are very good for on-road. But if you want to do some proper off-roading, you can actually specify the tire you want. An all-terrain tire will give you maximum grip, be it on mud, sand, rut, or any other surface that you so desire of maximum grip, because we are going to test out the 4x4 system of this particular car. And of course, as we move towards the passenger cell, these wing mirrors as well, they have side repeater lamps that you can indicate as well, and they're actually very big and visible. You can see all the corners. But just in case you have challenges using your mirrors, then you can actually use the 360-degree cameras that are provided in this particular vehicle. So there's a camera here, one at the front, the other one on the other side of the wing mirror, and then of course at the back. It gives you a transposed image of the car, where it's going, so you're able to see where the vehicle is stepping. Of course, it's also transparent enough to ensure that you are able to see where the wheels are actually facing. Again, the lower door sill as well actually acts as a side step. So if you're a Mheshimiwa and you want to buy a 4x4, I know there's one Mheshimiwa from Kakamega, my good friend. I can tell you, this car is the one for you. Again, as you can see here, the door sill, the security can come and hang, and of course you can see your constituents quite easily as you traverse the beautiful county of Kakamega. Thank you very much. Over to the rear third of this particular vehicle. It's very symmetrical to the passenger cell and the front as well. It's a 3-box design. I love the fact that they've used quite a number of materials, allowing light to get into inside this particular cabin. And of course, as you move, this plastic cladding also gives this car some proper 4x4 look and feel. But the biggest question still remains, how good is the back profile? Let's have a look at the design profile of this Tank 300. So we move to the back side of this Tank 300, and all the design elements converge to form this particular panel. So the drop-off is very flat, 90 degrees from the top as well. Then you do have a third-stop braking light. This massive rear windscreen as well allows light to get inside the vehicle. And as you can see, you're able to see what is happening at the back. You have this massive spare tire that's on the door, similar to what you've seen with the Willys Jeep and many other Jeeps or 4x4s that are around this particular place. And of course, you have this plastic cladding that runs across, remember, from the front lip to the lower door sill, the overhang, all the way to the back, giving this car some 4x4 credentials that you so desire. I love the fact that they've used this tail design. As you can see, it's an open tail design as well, and as you open it, you're able to see you can carry quite a lot of things inside this particular Tank 300. It's very practical, and you're going to find out much later about it. You have these LEDs as well, which actually illuminate and make sure that anybody who's following behind you can actually see the car quite easily because of the brilliance of the LED technology that are supplied in this particular vehicle. But how good is the cabin? Let's step inside and have a look at the cabin of this Tank 300 SUV. So you've seen from the walk around the design perspective of this Tank 300 by Great Wall Motors. Very tough, butch, athletic, but the biggest question still remains, how good is the interior? We step inside of this particular interior and I can tell you, Great Wall Motors are not playing with the Tank 300. Why do I say so? The use of different textures, materials, gives this car that je ne sais quoi, that premium look and feel that you so desire every time you are in an SUV. We start with the dashboard, forward cap design to allow maximum space for the front passenger. Number two, you have two-tone design. So on top you do have this fox leather with contrast stitching. Then you have this, it looks like it's not carbon fiber, but it's a very interesting material just to give this car some je ne sais quoi. I love the circular vents that allow air to waft out, be it if you're in Mombasa and you need AC. It wafts out cold air as you traverse the beautiful county of Mombasa. And if you're feeling very, very cold, then you can crank up the heat. And of course, the AC will do its job to ensure that you remain warm while in the Tank 300. You have also heated and cooled leather seats at the front, and of course the steering wheel as well. But the highlight of this particular vehicle is this massive 12.3-inch multicolor touch display that houses quite a number of things. I will start, of course, with the radio. So if you love radio like myself, then you can tune into different stations, for example in 6.3 Nation FM, and listen to your best tunes as well. You can stream music via either Bluetooth, USB, or connected apps like Spotify. Again, you love music, then this particular vehicle has what it takes to be your next SUV. Climate control also comes as standard. Then you have the 4x4 capabilities segment, where actually it gives you a render of the vehicle. It will tell you the tire pressures as well. It will tell you whether the diff locks are on or off or locked as well. Then of course, you do have quite a number of things as well to give you the vehicle dynamic system. It will give you, how much power is being moved as well. Then from a comfort point of view, you're able to adjust your mirrors, your seats quite easily, and of course vehicle statistics. It will tell you battery power is 76%. I need to charge it as well. And in terms of parking as well, you are able to adjust the radar settings, and then this has self-parking as well. So ladies, if you get intimidated by driving a big 4x4, then this self-parking control with this Great Wall Tank 300 has what it takes to be your next SUV. So all those gizmos are actually right here. And of course, the screens extend all the way to another 12.3-inch that we're going to talk about in the instrument cluster. So right below it, you also have the vents like I mentioned earlier, and then you have these buttons as well where you control your AC, which I like because you have two redundancies. So the touch screen and of course the manual physical buttons that allow you to control the AC. Right below it, you do also have two USB ports. One is to charge your device, it's a type C. The other one is to actually connect into your audio-visual system. Of course, over here you do have a wireless charging pad for your cell phone, and of course you do have this gearbox cluster or instrument panel that gives you a benefit of doubt. So you have your driving modes, sand, mud, rock, snow, pothole, all those are controlled in this left-hand side of the knob. On the right-hand side is your four-wheel drive system. So 2 high, that is for efficient highway driving. It only drives 2 wheels. Then you have 4 high, where you need more traction on slippery surfaces. Then 4 low is to ensure that you control the traction and get out of a sticky situation in case you run out of talent. And of course, you do also have on the left hand side, there are actually buttons for stability control. Then you have hill descent control. You have the tank turn, which locks the rear wheels to ensure that the turning radius becomes very short, and of course diff lock at the back. On the right hand side, you do also have park assist. You have the 360-degree camera that comes as standard as well. Then of course electronic park brake and auto hold, very useful for traffic. Then you have this interesting, I would call it a jet fighter gear shift that allows you to toggle through park, reverse, neutral, and of course manual mode in case you need the power of that 165 kilowatt engine that is provided by Great Wall Motors. You have 2 cup holders as standard as well, center console to hide all your valuables, plus another USB port to charge your device. So move over to the instrument binnacle as well. Again, the name of the game is clarity. The italics that have been used in this particular vehicle are fantastic. You're able to take a look and glance and see what's happening. On the left hand side will give you consumption of the vehicle. So this particular vehicle has an average fuel consumption of 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not too bad, by the way. And of course, it will also give you whether the door is open, if the park brake is on, then your adaptive systems, the cruise control systems, are all here to ensure that you're able to see what's happening. And of course, on the right hand side, to give you the telemetry of the vehicle. Now, I love the fact that the steering wheel is 3-spoke as well. We've got the letters tank emblazoned on the center airbag part of it. On the left hand side, satellite buttons as well. You do have everything that is controlling the multi-information system. Right hand side, everything to do with this trip computer and adaptive cruise control. Your floppy paddles to ensure that when you need power, you're able to toggle through the different gears very easily to give you that maximum boost that you so desire while in the Tank 300. So, name of the game as well. This particular cabin is very modern. Actually, it's one of the best in its class. And of course, you have to top it up, this particular sunroof to allow light to get in and to blow your hair. I don't have hair, but if you have a lot of hair, then this particular sunroof is actually very, very suitable for you. Now, Big Boy Trev, I'm 6'1". These seats are so comfortable, it hurts. I can tell you, they've got this stitched and perforated leather. It's contour stitching with piping. Then of course you have this diamond felt design, giving this car some je ne sais quoi. The heated, of course, electronically controlled to ensure that you are able to sit quite comfortably, be it you're a tall person or short person, very comfortable. The steering wheel as well, it's got a rake and of course tilt to ensure that you can actually put quite easily in the Tank 300. End of the story. Let's move to the backside to have a look at the seating capacity and comfort of the Tank 300. So we move over to the passenger side of this particular Tank 300, and I can tell you, space is the name of the game. If you are a Mheshimiwa or VIP looking for a comfortable 4x4, this should be top of mind when it comes to purchasing your next SUV, the Tank 300. Remember those words. What do I mean by that? There's plenty of leg and headroom. I'm 6'1". This seat has been set to my position, and I can tell you, I am actually feeling like I'm in a business jet. Very comfortable, very spacious. I love the fact that the floor is very flat. You can see 3 people quite comfortably because there's no transmission tunnel. Remember, this is a body-on-frame chassis. Again, if you sit 3 people, very comfortable. You have 3 headrests. But just in case you only have 2 people, then you can toggle through this armrest to reveal 2 cup holders and an armrest so that you're able to relax quite easily while in this particular Tank 300. I love the fact that the seats are very contoured to ensure that long drives are very, very pleasant in this particular vehicle. In terms of safety, this particular vehicle has 3-point safety belts and of course 6 airbags, including the curtain ones, to prevent head or thorax injuries just in case you're involved in a rollover or side accident. So, name of the game is safety. Again, you have ISOFIX anchors at the back seat to secure your child seat very easily. Remember, any child below 12 years of age, the best place to place them is at the back. So it's pretty comfortable and very, very reassuring because of the safety credentials of this Tank 300. You have airline cell pockets, which comes as standard as well. You can put your iPad right here. You have vents over here. Then you do also have 2 USB ports to ensure that you are able to charge your device while on the go. So if you have an iPad or your phone, you can charge it quite easily in this Tank 300. Of course, you have grab handles, very useful when you're doing some 4x4 activities, so you're able to hold on to dear life as you traverse the beautiful country of Kenya in our very unique terrain. Now, let's talk about the cubbyholes and spaces. This is an SUV. Practicality is the name of the game. You have 2 cup holders, you have door bins to store extra amount of water, and of course on the side as well. So, you've seen, practical enough, spacious, safety, and of course, got plenty of technology. But how big is the carrying capacity of the Tank 300? Let's move to the boot and have a look at the carrying capacity of this particular Tank 300. Over to the back side, I can tell you this tailgate has a soft touch opening that opens up 90 degrees to show you the space of this particular vehicle. What do I mean? It's got plenty of carrying capacity. If you're worried that if you take this car up country and you have groceries to take, I can tell you, you can carry close to 500 liters of boot space. So that's roughly about 5 suitcases or 5 gunias of groceries. So if you like stopping around Molo to buy carrots, potatoes, this particular vehicle has what it takes to carry all that. It's got tie-down hooks to ensure that that particular cargo remains very steady, and of course it's got a light as well, so you can actually see whatever you're carrying at night. You do also have an optional tonneau cover to ensure that prying eyes don't check in into this particular area. Then of course you do also have a charging port. You can charge your fridge or any other device while in this Tank 300. So practicality is the name of the game. It's very good. You've got also a lower flat area as well. You have a subwoofer. So if you love sound, this particular vehicle has a subwoofer, and of course this floor is very flat. You can actually remove cargo very easily. The scuff plate here ensures that you don't damage the body of the vehicle. So it's time for us to feel the power of this Great Wall Tank 300, 2-liter turbo petrol, 8-speed automatic, 162 kilowatts, 380 Newton meters of torque, sent to the forwards courtesy of this permanent 4-wheel drive system. Follow me as you feel the power of this Tank 300. Ladies and gentlemen, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, very privileged to be in the presence of the Tank 300 super SUV courtesy of Great Wall Motors. And I can tell you, you've seen from the design perspective, it's very butch and athletic. You've seen the practicality of the cabin, the level of technology, and of course now it's time for us to feel the real deal, the DNA, what makes this car what it is. Formidable 4x4, perhaps the next SUV. We start with the ingredients. Up front, this particular vehicle is powered by a 2-liter turbo petrol, 16 valve with intercooling, and of course it delivers 162 kilowatts of raw power, which is roughly about 210, 220 horsepower, and of course 380 Newton meters of torque, which is sent to the 4 wheels courtesy of an 8-speed automatic transmission that's very smooth and peppy. If I put your foot down, it's quite brisk. Remember, this particular vehicle is quite heavy, but the engine does justice to this particular vehicle, and of course it allows this car to accelerate from 0 to 100 in roughly 7.5 seconds before topping out at 180 kilometers an hour. So it's pretty peppy, as you can see here, and it pulls effortlessly courtesy of the variable geometry charger. Allows this car to have full power like this, and of course still return you a fuel economy figure of roughly 9.15 liters per 100 kilometers. And of course with this particular tank, it's gonna give you roughly about 600 kilometers on full. So you can go to Mombasa and spend some time without refueling this particular vehicle. So they've thought about every single thing. Now let's talk about the chassis. This particular vehicle is a body on frame chassis. So basically the body and the chassis are separate. However, it's been hardened to ensure that this particular vehicle has what it takes to be your next SUV. It's hardy enough, strong enough, and of course the torsional rigidity also aids in safety. So in terms of suspension, of course, you have 4-link coil suspension all round to ensure that there is maximum wheel articulation, and of course the handling aspect of it is actually very good. Not only that, we do also have stabilizer links and anti-sway bars to ensure that this car is planted at any given time. But we know that this particular vehicle is full of active and passive safety features, and you know, as somebody who has a family, you need an SUV that has active and passive safety features. So active features basically prevent you from having an accident. And of course you do have electronic stability control, anti-lock braking system, and of course now the driver aids, including lane departure, warning and assist. You have cross traffic alert that also works in reverse, and not forgetting lane, center and keep assist, emergency autonomous braking, and of course the safety belt aspect of it. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the multiple airbags. There's 6 of them, including curtain airbags, and a 5-star rated passenger safety cell to ensure that you and your family are protected while in the tank, because the impact energy is dissipated away from the passenger cell to the harder parts of the chassis, so that you are actually safe while in this Tank 300. Everybody loves a vehicle that is safe, and of course as you continue to think of which one is your next SUV, perhaps this would sway you to the direction of the Tank 300. Now it's time for us to do some off-roading, and of course on the off-road segment we are going to check out its off-road capabilities. It's got a 2-speed transfer case, and of course different off-road modes. So you have sand, mud, rut, pothole and snow. We don't have snow in Kenya, but obviously in a slippery place then you can actually do that. It's got a switch on the fly 4-wheel drive, so 2 high is basically used to ensure that you have good fuel efficiency, because the power is sent to only 2 wheels. That is good for highway driving. Then you have 4 high, which is very useful, especially this time of the season where it's very wet and rainy and the roads are slippery. You need maximum grip, so you can actually use the 4H on that. Then follow, if you run out of talent and you get stuck somewhere, if you're going to Ushago and you get stuck, then the follow aspect controls all the torque and selectively selects which wheel has maximum grip, aided with the front and rear locking differential to ensure that you get out of this particular situation. And of course, the ground clearance also is very, very good. You do have 235 millimeters, which is actually very good, and a wading depth of 700 millimeters. Very, very close to the best of the SUVs. So this particular vehicle is very, very capable. Very comfortable off and on road. As you can see here, as you drive through this particular rugged area, fantastic vehicle to drive. But with all that said and done, do you reckon this is your next SUV? We move to our main segment. When we talk about value for money, we normally custom it as Krinyaga analysis. Of course, we make sure that you give maximum value for money as you traverse this beautiful country of Kenya with this Great Wall Tank 300. Stay tuned. It has been the review of the Great Wall Tank 300. What do I like about it? Number one, the tough, aggressive stance. Number two, the level of technology. Number three, the performance of this 2-liter engine. And of course, the 4x4 hardware, including the safety aspect of the Tank 300. But the biggest question still remains, is it better to buy a car or a tank? We go and take a look at this Kirinyaga road analysis as to why this could be your next SUV. We start with the pricing. Now, this particular vehicle is sold and serviced by Crown Motors Group, situated along Mombasa Road, and of course, it comes at a price of 8.7 million VAT inclusive. It comes with a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty, whichever comes first. Plus, you can rely on Crown Motors' extensive network of dealers across the country to maintain this Great Wall Tank. From Mombasa to Kisumu, Eldoret, I mean, you can traverse this beautiful country of Kenya quite easily in the tank. But we do know this particular vehicle exists in a space where there's so much competition. Who are the key rivals in this particular segment? Number one, you have the Jeep Wrangler. It's not no longer sold in this particular country, but on second hand, you'll probably get it as well. But the closest rival to this particular vehicle is the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, which actually is giving you value for money as far as comparing the two is concerned. But based on the cost and of course the offering of this particular vehicle, would you pick this Tank 300 over the rivals? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to the feedback next week. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and the Big Boy Trev, on behalf of the production team and NTV, drive safe and be safe.
You can't hide.